We're live here with Ayden Webster, up and coming agent at Anzar Group. Guy's crushing it. He's in year 2 of his real estate. Ayden, you were doing a little bit of residential before,
Yep.
and then you went full throttle commercial with us. What made you choose getting into commercial versus staying in residential?
I mean, I was always interested in the numbers, right? Like I really didn't like the aspect of residential that was, the like emotional, less, more subjective, I guess. Like you'd go to a property and it was hard to really nail down like what people wanted. So, like a house that you thought looked great, maybe a little bit different for somebody else, right? Whereas a good deal in the commercial game is a good deal, right? A lot of people are going to want it. So you really just have to connect the dots. And I like the simplicity of that.
Yeah, the numbers.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to keep, straightforward, everything that's going on, right? Like if you have a good deal come up, okay, cap rates in this area or what they are, and
Yeah.
go from there.
Yeah.
It's a lot less emotional too. It's more ego, but a lot less.
Yeah.
But you can like handle someone's ego a little bit more in their emotion, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like that's the main thing for me. And I think, the idea of like, buying something, compounding over time, it's pretty cool, right? You're helping people do that.
Yeah.
So it's neat. I like that aspect of it.
You bought your first building like what, 2 months ago?
Yeah, a few months ago now.
How's that going?
It's interesting, man. The 2 weeks after we closed, the top unit had a leak, caved in the ceiling for the middle unit. Still
No
tenants in
way.
both of them. Yeah, it was
Did you
brutal.
know about that, Jack?
What?
Did you know about that?
Yeah, I did. He
I
told
didn't
me.
know about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So we had to deal with that, and like we're not used to it, right? There's a group of us, small group of us, and we're
Yeah.
like first time, right? So it's crazy just going through all those motions for the first time, but
Yeah.
you learn as you go, and you learn a lot.
Yeah.
I imagine you guys have been through that kind of stuff,
Oh yeah,
right?
we've seen some crazy stuff for sure.
Sure have.
Yeah.
Like, how did you solve? Like, what happened? Like, give me the whole rundown because I'm curious because I don't know.
Honestly,
I don't know.
like
shit. What
I don't
happened?
know what her deal was, but we offered to like put her up in an Airbnb somewhere else while we dealt with it because there was also
So
asbestos.
there was a tenant in the
Yeah.
floor?
Tenant top, tenant middle. The ceiling for the middle unit caved in. We offered to put her up in an Airbnb just because, like, we didn't know what to do. There's also asbestos in there, so no plumbers wanted to come in and actually do the work. So we were like, hey, what do we do here? So we offered to put her up in the Airbnb. She said no. We offered to get her a motel around where she lived. She said no. So we were like, okay. She just decided to live there for the rest of her term. It was just the rest of the month, like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So she had no bathroom. She just went to a friend's house. It was pretty weird because we were trying to help her out, right? Like we were trying to work with her. But yeah, so at the end of the month, she moved out and ended up being good. Like I helped them find places to live.
Sick.
So I showed them properties, like rental places, right? And then helped them get that stuff locked up. So yeah, now the building's
was
vacant.
empty. The building's fully you got the building to be fully vacant.
Yeah, exactly. So we bought the building with 2 out of 3 units tenanted.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we got the 2 tenants out. Now it's fully vacant. We're doing all the renos. And yeah.
Okay. That's good. What kind of numbers are you looking at? Like how much should this place be worth when you're done with it?
Ideally, we're going for 900 on the refinance. We bought it for 525 total cash.
Quick double up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Sick.
like we got it for land value. The sellers were very old, just didn't want to deal with it. They wanted quick closing, so we accommodated like all their needs. And because of that, we got the deal done quickly and everything. So they let it go for a really good price, essentially land value.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're putting some money into it, renovating everything. It had asbestos in the bottom unit. We had to clear that out. Some electrical we're dealing with, but overall it's not bad for
How much you were gonna say? How much you guys are putting into it?
Yeah, so all in we're around 270. That's everything, closing costs, renovation, down payment, everything.
So you pull all your money out.
Yep, it'll be 100%.
Yeah.
That's a real burr.
Yep.
100.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a good deal.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good deal. So
I was looking for a while, right? Like
Yeah.
they don't come up every day, and that was on the market for one day. We submitted the offer. There was 2 or 3 other offers at the time.
Yeah.
And the guy went with us just because like, I learned a lot from you guys about, talking to people about,
Yeah.
numbers, and he just said like, based on the conversations that we were having, he kind of got the vibe that I understood how that side of things work with like, the ability to close essentially. I knew what was going on from A to B and everything. So
yeah. And
find-
how old are you?
Yeah.
24.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like you and Andrew are fucking just blow my mind, man. Like.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's hard stuff, but like you really just have to learn. That's the main thing. And being around you guys, like you guys have done all this stuff 100
Yeah.
times. So it's like we have the competitive advantage there, right?
Yeah, we have a sick vibe going with the team. We have
Dude, yeah.
fun.
Unreal. Yeah.
Do you find doing your own projects helps with like your clients and stuff too?
I would say more so like the reverse, right? Like helping other people,
Yeah.
go through all the motions and do everything, and learning from you guys along the way. That helped me to actually do my first one. So, when you're doing deals with other people and they're asking you questions about financing, about, negotiating, all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and then you have to figure out the answers and actually put it in practice, I found that was what really helped me with the deal that we did.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people are just scared, right? Like they're just like they don't want to take that leap, and like you're doing this shit every day. You see people do it, like you're helping them do it. You're like, all right, well, I'm comfortable now.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I bought my first building, it was like the first thing I was like, what's my worst case scenario?
Yeah.
Like I have money locked up in a building that's cash flowing for the next 3 to 5 years. Like big fucking deal.
Yeah,
Like-
sure. That's a good way to run it too, is
Yeah.
like the worst case, right? Like you really have to determine what the worst case scenario is. And if it's not terrible and the upside's great, go for it, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like also like what's your risk tolerance, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Some people don't have the same risk tolerance as you or me or you.
Yeah,
So,
but you reduce the risk by knowing what you're getting yourself into, So learning how to analyze the deal,
Yep.
yeah.
run the numbers, which lenders to speak to. So like learning everything from A to Z reduces risk significantly.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I learned a lot of that. Like when I came on, I remember we'd be in the office all the time and you'd be doing stuff and I'd just be sitting there like, hey, what was that? What'd you do?
Yeah, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah. What was that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot and then applied a lot of that, like I said, to my first deal, and hopefully just going to keep on snowballing it over
Yeah,
and over
man,
again.
that's all it is. Like
100%.
just buy one, refi, buy the next, refi.
Yep.
And then you just eventually you're like, holy shit, here's $5 million. Like,
If you want to take a little more risk, leverage.
yeah.
You
100% LTV, 130% LTV. Grind, grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like for us too, like I think we all look at it the same. Like you're young, we're all young. It's like you go belly up, like fucking okay, well I'll just restart. You're young, you have the energy.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Thankfully, knock on wood, that doesn't happen and hasn't happened. But
Yeah, I mean, some
we've been
people
close,
start
man.
in like 40s,
We've been
right?
close.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's you just have to cope with the pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressures and things that, stress you out along the way, especially when you're trying to like put everything together and there's a lot on the line and you're operating at like high leverage. At the beginning, there's a lot of leverage, right? So
Yeah.
it's stressful for sure, but it's also fun. Like I was thinking about it the other day, like, damn, this is actually so stressful. But then I was thinking I would not have it any other way. Like I
Dude,
wouuld
it's so much fun.
Yeah, I know.
Like-
It's great.
I love waking up in the morning and being like, wow, I'm tinkering on the fucking edge. I'm like, I'm either going to make so much money or I'm
Yeah.
going
Or you're
so
completely
broke.
done, yeah.
I'm going
Yeah.
to zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, and nobody's getting paid.
Yeah.
On the way down, baby.
Living on the edge.
Yeah.
Just pouring what's it called? Gas on the fire consistently.
Yeah, 100%.
But you
Keeping
know
the
what it
fire
is?
alive.
Like you're also well aware of what like the potential is, right? Like I'd rather like fail miserably at something and go for like my visions and my goals and my dreams as opposed to just sitting down and doing fuck all and being like
Yeah, 100%. Like what other
Yeah.
choice do you have? You got one life, right? You might as well just go for what you want.
Like you're gonna
Yeah.
sit here, be comfortable, and like not
Yeah.
do anything.
Yeah. Take your shot.
And when you see how life is on the other side, like people that have a ton of money, it's like you
Yeah.
can't just look the other way anymore. It's like, okay, it's a completely different world.
Yeah,
So
and it's like too. You're like, well, they're no different than me. They just worked hard.
100%. Yeah, you talk to these people, and a lot of times there's normal dudes. You don't even really realize it until you're like, oh,
Look at the
damn.
client we talked about.
I
like,
know.
10 minutes ago.
I know.
Like, the guy has literally. What would you say his portfolio is? Like, it's got to be close to 100.
100 mil?
Like, yeah, like with all like, and he bought them all a long time ago. Like, it's got to be like in the 50 to 60 range. I would
Yeah,
think.
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Guy drives like a shitty rusted out car, and it's like,
Dude, yeah, it's crazy. And like super chill guy also,
you
like,
just never know.
yeah,
Nice guy.
yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, like you have access to all these people, so you can start to pick their brains, and like, I'm sure it's the same for you. Like, they see we're young, and we're putting in a lot of work and effort, and they're like, okay, well, you ask them questions, they're willing to help, they want to help.
Yeah,
and they give you
100%.
opportunity.
100%,
So-
yeah.
Yeah,
Because they've been in that position, right? Like everybody, for the most part, a lot of people start on a similar level. So,
Yeah, 100%.
when you're there and they can kind of see, okay, I was there 20 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. It's like they want to help you out. They just like doing that, right? Because not everybody's like that. Not everybody actually wants to, do really well and optimize their life essentially.
Yeah.
So when they see someone that is, it's like, okay, great, there's one, right? Like I'll help them out,
Yeah. What did you find that I know you probably got
No,
some
go
stuff
ahead,
too,
go
but what did you find the hardest thing about starting in commercial was?
Man, it's just the like keep going until you see results, even when you're not seeing results immediately, right? Like it's just you have to keep going even when it's not immediately paying off. Like you could be 3 months in and still feel like you're getting screwed, having made like $0, right? 3 months, cold calls every day.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you hit, right?
wave.
And then it's like, okay, I've got so much stuff going on. So it's just getting through that starting period. It's tough, right? And it can be tough logistically as well as like mentally, right? You have to be resilient.
Yeah.
But also you have to figure out a way to like, cover your expenses and sort stuff out when you're not making that much money at the beginning. But then once you start to actually level up, it's like, okay, it's going well. You can keep on relying on the things you're doing because it's working.
Yeah. Well, you did 3 deals and it was like close to, well, no, it was over what people's regular salary is, right? So it's not instant gratification. A lot of people will just quit.
Yeah, 100%.
Like if you just keep going, then fuck it. Like,
And that's the hard part. I think a lot of people really mess that up. Like, what is it? Most agents don't renew their license after 2 years. And the 2 years, that kind of period is where you're learning, right? Like, that's what you need to put in to actually get anything out.
Yep.
So people quit too early, right? Like, that's the main problem, I think.
Yeah.
100%.
It's also like we talk all the time, and it's like even after hours or weekends, we call each other and like you have questions, we have questions. What's going on with this deal? Or hey,
Yeah.
guys, I'm in this scenario, and people don't want to learn, right? Like a lot of people just they see, oh, I can do a few deals, make 50, 60 grand a year, and be happy, chill, whatever, and like that's the case, but like can go down real quick too.
Well, that's the other side of it, right? Like, if you have moderate success and you make enough to cover yourself essentially, and you're good. Like, I think that's the level where a lot of people will be like, okay, I'm good. But then you have that, other side where it's like, I want to do 10x this, and the motivation to keep going when you're good. Like, that's also what separates people, I think, as well.
Yeah, I'm sure you have friends and I have friends and I know you have friends where like, so they see some of the commissions we make and they're like, why don't you just hang out the rest of the year? Like, why? What do you do? It's like, dude, I would go nuts if I had to just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think it's just like people are different, right? Yeah. And I fully respect it. Like, if you don't want to grind all the time, that's completely okay.
Yeah.
But you also can't expect to have the same results, right? You can't be mad when you're not the person that can do whatever you want whenever you want. Right?
The classic line, like, must be nice.
Yeah,
man.
Exactly.
See my Oura ring stress right now, bro. It must be nice, man.
Well, that's it. Some people can handle pressure more than others. So
Yeah.
it's like, how much pressure can you handle? Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
And then it never ends because you just keep wanting more.
You just want more. It's funny, I actually looked at my stress levels from our Friday outing. And like you can see there's like certain peaks throughout the night. Yeah. That was
That's awesome. Yeah, talking about pressure, what was the most, let's say, the most intense deal that you've done so far that required a lot of work, heavy pressure?
I already know where he's gonna go with it.
Yeah,
Honestly,
which deal was it?
There was two, I would say, for different reasons. Like the first one that we did together, that was
Which one was that?
what was
The 6 unit?
Yeah, 6 unit.
Okay.
Yeah. It was first one, right? Like I came on and I just had that one already, right? And then you guys had a buyer for it, and it just worked out. That's
yeah,
how,
yeah.
Remember we met?
First one.
Yeah. So that one was, I guess, a decent amount of pressure just because I hadn't seen how any of it worked before, especially on the commercial side. Like, I'd seen nothing on the commercial side. I'd seen a bit of the res stuff, right? But you guys were talking about a ton of stuff, and I was like, damn, I have no idea what they're talking about. So learning all of it, and then the actual negotiations, it's like, okay, this is the real deal now. So actually doing it, it's like, it just didn't want to mess anything up, right? Because it was the very beginning, and also since it was like that first big one, there's a lot on the line.